He can say how to dial a phone, for God's sake.
Hold on. I'm listening to this song.
Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
Hey.
So maybe this could get stuck in your head instead of Danny Bonaduce.
I got room for more than one annoying song, sister. I'm a Barbie girl. See? 1-800.
Hold on. It's almost done.
I've actually had people hit me on Facebook. They've hit Sarah's Beaver on Facebook asking for I love the Louis Gucci. It's the Danny Bonaduce.
I downloaded it onto my phone.
It's
So
kind of awesome.
It's in my iTunes now.
Well, why don't you dial right now, 1-800-252-1025 to get a hold of Life Coach, or send an email to lifecoach@KZOK.com.
That's right. You can call now, 800-252-1025. Remember, any kind of problem you have, Danny can help you. He has been through it all. It shocks me when you're like, oh, yeah, that happened to me. Oh, yeah, that happened to me.
Or when I don't get excited, when somebody says something weird and I just go,
Yeah.
Like, that happens all the time. I'm here for you people.
Any kind of problem, Danny can help you at 800-252-1025. Lie about your name if you need to. Say your name is anonymous if you need to. Or email lifecoach@KZOK.com. Rich in Bellevue sent an email. Among my 3 best friends, I am doing the best financially. The problem is, the other 2 always expect me to pay for them when we go out to do anything. They also expect that any social event they want to host will be at my place. I'm really bad at confrontations, so I always just say yes. They are fun to be with. We've been friends for years, but how can I get to say no?
That's a great question, and I'm sorry you're having that problem. Well, you know what? I'm actually very happy you're having that problem because you're doing the best. As you know, if you listen to the show, I'm in recovery from drugs and alcohol and things like that. So imagine the crowd I was running with. Those are my bestest friends out of high school and then on into adulthood, and I always picked up the check. And what happened in the long run, believe it or not, is they ended up kind of fading away. We just turned out we didn't have that much. When there's no alcohol or drugs involved, we didn't have all that much in common. But I would never even think about not, because I'm different from you. I wanted to show off. I can afford this now. All my money doesn't go to drugs. I put it in the bank and I can afford this lunch. But my wife at the time would always say, why do you always pick up the bill? And she was absolutely right. Well, first of all, I want you to remember to thank God you can afford to pick up the bill. Not only that when you said we have an event, we always have it at my house. Well, that you have the house to have this. So you're the lucky guy. But if that's still bothering you, and it should, I was being a fool and always picking up the tab. A couple of my friends couldn't. There wasn't a lot of recovery in their recovery. But you need to, thank God and remember to be glad that you can afford to pay or afford to have them at your house. But now what you do is when the check just comes along, don't be the first guy to grab it. Let this sit there and be an uncomfortable couple of minutes. You're not saying these guys cannot pay any tabs. Somebody's going to grab it. And if they do not, you need to have a reasonable and calm conversation. Say, hey, you know what? I'm doing okay. I'm happy to buy, but isn't it your time? Isn't it your turn? I've had people in their adult life say it's your turn to buy gas. As a matter of fact, Will told me I should buy gas.
What?
And he was right.
When we were going to the outlet collection, you drove us all the way down to Auburn, and you said, you know what? Pony up $20.
Right.
And you were polite about it and everything, but you were absolutely right, and we didn't look twice. Oh, yeah. He's got that bitchin' Camaro. We wanted to ride in it. Yeah, he's absolutely right. So let your friends know straightforward. There's no point that I'm going to say break up with your friends. They've been probably hard spent getting them. But yeah, you can let them know your turn to buy the check, your turn to put the gas in, and let's have this at your house. And if they don't have a house, then don't go. But I'm assuming at this stage of the game they do. But yeah, good on you that you have all these things. You've been able to be the most financially responsible. But yeah, tell them it's time to pick up the check.
Yeah. Or, when the check comes to, I've seen this happen before, it's $30 each.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, what?
Yeah, you can split them. That's exactly. Yeah, throw down cash, but only your share. That's funny.
Vicky in Edgewood sent an email. My husband, by the way, if you'd like to email, it's lifecoach@KZOK.com, and always taking your phone calls at 800-252-1025. Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, is here to help you. Call now. Vicky in Edgewood sent an email.
Yes.
My husband had an affair last year with a person at his work. I kicked him out, but I let him move back in recently. I did this because we have 4 young children, aged 6 to 11. I grew up in a divorced family, and I don't want my kids to grow up without a father. I'm still mad at my husband, and honestly, I know in my heart that I will never, ever be able to forgive him. However, I love my children, and I will do anything for them. Am I right to stay in this marriage just for this reason?
No, and that's not the, it's interesting that I was backing your taking him back right up until you said you can't stay in a marriage for the kids. and I'll do my own life coaching, but right now I will quote Dr. Phil. You know, it's never a good idea to stay in an unhappy marriage for the kids. It's a bad idea. But here's what I was getting right up until the end, and that's your only reason, is you wanted him back. You missed him. You had ideas that, hey, you didn't want to grow up the same way. You didn't want them to grow up the same way you did. And I am of the opinion, and this has taken me a long time to learn. I would have never said this years ago, but you can recover from an affair. You can recover from somebody sleeping around where they absolutely shouldn't have, as long as both people are on the right page of, I am so sorry, I didn't, and you believe them. So I think the problem is yours. You let him back and you want him to stay. You have to work on forgiving him, because your marriage is going to be a disaster if you don't forgive the father of your children that you allowed to come back. So I think the onus is on you. You have to forgive this guy. You have to sleep at night and go, he's not going to do that again, but you didn't mention that. So you have to forgive this guy. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
800-252-1025. If you've got a question for the life coach, now is the time to call. You can be anonymous. You can change your name. Just say your name is Becky. And if you're
I'm going to think you're everybody's girlfriend.
If you're a girl, say your name is Steve. We have a lot of kids. It seems like we've got a lot of teenagers that listen to the show, and
Right.
a lot of youngsters have actually called to talk to the life coach. This one is an email, and it comes from Anonymous in Bellevue. See if you can follow this one. I'm a freshman, and I asked out the girl I liked 3 days ago. I didn't get a definite answer. We've both been busy and couldn't talk, but I don't want rumors to spread either. How do I talk to her without bugging her and stop rumors from spreading?
Well, do you automatically get why there are rumors?
I do not.
I don't get why there are rumors. You might be overthinking this, man. I don't see any rumors at all. And you know, if you're seeing her in school and things like that, instead of going up, hey, what's the idea? Are we going to go out on this date? Don't do that. But if you talk to her before, continue to talk to her, but in the same way. Just go up and say, hey, Becky, how's it going? And she will either say, it's going great. And as for this date, or she won't. But the door is absolutely open for you to talk to her, but don't get to be the pestery guy. You know, you see her, she's nice to you. Apparently, I'm going just from your letter that nothing big has happened. Nobody seems to be mad. If she acts like she forgot, you know what? No, she's in school. She would not have forget a possible date. Just go up to her when you see her and say, hey, how's it going? Do you have any good homework? Anything you want, anything that sounds normal. And see if she doesn't go, oh, let's go out on Thursday. But yeah, you can continue to talk to her. And I don't understand about the rumors. She'll be fine. But, don't ask her out again. You'll know when it's time to ask her out again. But don't cut her off either. Definitely talk to her.
Yeah, maybe he's worried if he keeps pestering her to go out that the rumors will start that
he's
a
right.
creepy guy.
He's right. If you go keep pestering this lady, there's going to be nothing but rumors.
Yeah.
But you can go talk to her.
800-252-1025. That's the number to call to talk to Danny Bonaduce, life coach. He solves your problems.
I
one
do.
phone call at a time.
And here's one.
And they're from all over the globe. David is calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, David, what's up?
Hey, man, I listen to y'all like every day because there's nothing here that compares to what you guys do.
Well, we are huge in Atlanta. Hey, you recovering
Really?
from the snow there, David?
Oh, God, it snowed a little bit yesterday, but no, we like snow every year, but this year we've had too
No,
much.
it paralyzed your entire city, man. You were the front story on the news, and I live in Washington. All right, so what do you got for me, David?
This is about a little over 13 years ago. It was a real bad accident, a car accident, driving down the highway with my two kids. And I was hit by an 18-wheeler from behind, and next thing you know, my fish tailed around, and I was hit 4 times in my car. Knocked me completely unconscious, and next thing you know, I got people surrounded, and I wake up, and I look at my daughter, and she's a little just shaken up, and she's looking, and then I look back in the back seat, and, well, my boy wasn't okay.
Right.
And I lost my kid over that.
God, I am so sorry, David.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And, it was just, nightmare from hell. It was horrible. Well, to make a long story short, this guy hit me from behind, 18-wheeler. Cops put the blame on him,
Right.
and just, no doubt about it.
Right.
My ex-wife, who I was married to for 20 years, I wasn't married to her at the time because she divorced me, and she sued me because
She
I
didn't win,
insurance.
did she? I can't imagine that she won this.
Well, yeah, she did. And the reason is because once there's like limits of liability, and she sued the trucker, and she won that trucker too.
Right.
And but she wanted what insurance I had, and she put the blame. She tried to put blame on me because even if there was a 2% blame or whatever, but my insurance company just didn't want to fight it because I only had $50,000 worth of insurance. Is all I had.
Right.
All I had was $50,000. but they said it wasn't worth it to fight it, so they gave in and they just gave her the $50,000. And then but I told her, I said, don't try to put this on me. Please don't try to put this on me. And nobody put it on me except her. And it's just eaten me up ever since. I mean, I'm fine most of the time. I really am. I'm fine.
You sound good, David. I want you to know that. You sound very good.
Yeah, well, it's been 13 years. I'm fine. I mean, I cope with life. I work. Life's fine. I mean, life's good. But sometimes it just eats me up like you wouldn't believe it.
Well, so is your question that it still eats you up, and that what is your question? I want to make sure I know your question.
I guess my question is how do you forgive? Because I can't, and this woman to this day works in a church and she does the prayer line. She does prayer, but it bugs me that I was with this woman for 20 years and I worship the ground she walked on, and to this day, it just still eats me up.
Well, when you ask in that regard, how do you move along? My gut reaction, although I know what you want, and I'm going to try and get there for you, is don't. I hate this lady. I hate your ex-wife with every fibre of my being. I mean, I'm going to be careful with my wording here, but you have a dead child, too. She's not the only parent in this conversation with a dead child, but she's the only parent with a dead child and a lawsuit. I hate your ex-wife. Now, you said it's going well and that you go to work. Is this distaste for your ex-wife, is it impeding you from doing anything, or do you live a full and adult life, although it is not good to hold a grudge?
I live a full life. I mean, I have friends. I'm happy. You know what I mean? I love that you're happy. You have friends and stuff. So here's the trick to forgiving your ex-wife. Don't hate her. Absolutely don't. And don't do anything stupid, but you continue. Hate's a good motivator, my man. This chick is a terrible, terrible person, and I think it's absolutely, as long as you're okay with it, you can continue to hate this woman, and I think everybody will say, you know what? Good on you, man. She's a terrible, terrible guy. Thanks, David. I appreciate your call.
Good luck to you, David.
That chick makes me quiver.
Yeah.
I want to go down to Atlanta and, well, you can't smack a girl, but I want to go down there and yell at her.
Yeah.
But, I mean, life is good, so you're right.
Yeah.
Just move on.
Life's good. You can stay
Put her
angry
behind
with this
you.
chick.
All right,
You got to
Becky.
put your back behind you. I forget. I'm trying to quote Lion King. How's Lion King go?
I have no idea.
You got to put your past in your behind. I don't know.
I don't think that's the way that
Hakuna
goes.
Matata, David.
Yeah.
All right, so we did tell you guys that if you would like to be anonymous when you call the life coach, you can. Or if you want to be Becky, go ahead. And if you're a girl, you call up and say you're Steve. So here's Becky in Spanaway.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Morning, sunshine.
Hi,
Oh, wait,
Becky.
this is Steve in Spanaway.
Hey, this is somebody. What's up?
Okay, so I'm actually from Florida.
Right.
I moved across the country about a year ago just to kind of start my own life. And
You moved from Florida to Spanaway on your own at 20 with no clear and present plan?
no, I had a plan. This isn't the point of the whole story.
No, I was just saying I admire that. My wife at 18 moved from Sacramento to Los Angeles because that's what she thought was best. So I appreciate that. So what else is happening there, Becky?
So I found my real dad on the internet. I did like a people search. I paid a couple dollars to find like information about a sister who had like a weird enough name that I remembered that there wouldn't be 100 people that popped up.
Right.
And I found her. And I actually found her in Florida when I thought they were in New York. And it's just a long story. But long story short, I found my dad.
Right.
And I found him on Facebook after that. And I messaged him. And he, didn't get back to me right away. So I thought that, I should have just, let it go.
Real quick, because I want to make sure we get this. Did I just see you on the news last night?
No, you didn't. Hey, but I have met you at University Place Applebee's.
Oh, I love Applebee's. Who doesn't love Applebee's?
Just a month or two.
All right, so what is your question, my dearest?
So I think he didn't tell his wife about me until we were texting more often. So she went the last 14 years not knowing that I existed. He has a 9-year-old son. He won't refer to the son as my brother, which he would be. He just refers to him as his son, which makes me feel uncomfortable. He doesn't I'm pretty sure none of his friends or other family know about me, except
Probably
for
not.
his sisters, because he not only blocked me from Facebook, but was talking to me like he was so happy to have found me, and just loved that I was in his life and wanted to do all these things, and it's just that was cool, but I don't know why you're trying to hide me. And now I on Christmas, I just remember that I just wanted to Skype with him, and he couldn't because he was too busy with his quote-unquote real family. And
Wait, quote-unquote? That means you're quoting him as real family?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your actual question?
I just don't know if I should even keep bothering trying to, get to know my dad.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Put in less effort into it. Make sure he doesn't forget that you're alive and aware, because he's friending you on Facebook, and then he's doing whatever that he is doing. But he's not going to cut you out. He wants to know you, or he wouldn't do half of the behaviors that he is doing. So don't let him think that there's a problem coming his way. Remind him through Facebook or whatever else. Hey, still out here, Dad. Love to see you. Love to get together. I wouldn't say, I was going to say, ask, how's my brother? But don't do that, because he seems to be afraid of that. Don't give him anything to be afraid of. And then here's the thing. Much like your dad is already doing to you, keep this in mind, Becky, because I really like you. It is not mandatory that you like this guy just because he's your dad. I like that you've got your doors open to it, that, hell, I found him and I'm going to love him and everything's going to be great, but it's not mandatory. You might end up meeting him and go, I don't like him. He's shiftless. He doesn't make a good living. He cheats on his taxes. Whatever it is, it's not, you don't have to love this guy. And weirdly enough, he doesn't have to love you, although it's more difficult. It's much more likely that he is going to love you. But if you just keep reminding him you're here, he's going to come around 100% of the time and invite you down there to meet his family. He's curious, and in the long run, he loves you. That's a fact. He loves you. Hey, thank you very much for the phone call. That's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, life coach at this very moment. By the way, life coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.